Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen. Greetings, old school magic players. Welcome to a Saturday with the Four Horsemen. I'm the Chadster. I'll be your host today for our tournament number 12 quarterfinals match. Tournament number 12 ran from February 22nd and is going to be wrapping up March 24th. It's our 12th tournament. Some great prizes. Check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com for details. We are in the final stretch of the tournament here. Today's March 16th, and we're hoping to wrap up the quarterfinals matches today and this evening, and then we can move to semifinals and finals next week. Quick plug for tournament number 13. We're starting our 13th tournament coming up March 29th, and we've got an updated banned and restricted list. Check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com. And go to tournaments and select tournament 13 for all the details. Same fabulous prizes that we've had for our other tournaments. Really cool Ken Meyer Jr. Guardian Beast playmats. Some really cool Arabian Nights Islands. And some Ken Meyer Jr. unique art custom proxy tokens. Really cool stuff. We think that tournament 13 is going to really be a game changer for the Four Horsemen because it really opens up the format to lots of combos and also a lot of other deck themes and interactions that were canceled out because of mana drain previously. Having 4 mana drains really does restrict gameplay and makes you really think carefully about what to put in your decks and what's going to work, and almost, all of the top performing decks and Four Horsemen were running 4 mana drains in every deck. So this will really help open up the format, open up new possibilities and combos. So we hope that this will be a lot of fun. This tournament's going to run March 29th through April 28th. We're registering folks on Teleria. We've got 26 players as of today. And zoom in here on the banned and restricted. If you'd like to join us, you can also check out facebook.com/group/4horsemenmtg. This tournament will also run over the same type of 4-week schedule, with the first couple weeks for group matches, and then quarterfinals, semifinals week 3, and semifinals, finals week 4, wrapping up April 28th. Hope to see you at tournament 13. Also, on Thursday nights, Four Horsemen Old School Magic Players Group meets up. We do tournament matches if there are matches to be played and players are available. But most of the time we do casual matches, game testing, deck testing, that sort of thing. And you're welcome to join us at fourhorsemenmagic.com. All right, let's get into these decks. Let's do a quick deck tech and deck review for this Tournament 12 quarterfinals match. We've got the breakdown of the top 8 here. You may have seen this in the prior videos. Today's match, we're going to be focused on Philippe Bizian and Sean Paik. Sean is running a really interesting deck. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the right slide. Where am I at here? 1 second. Wrong graphics. Okay, yeah. So sorry, we're doing Taylor Boston and Peter Soltesz tonight. Taylor versus Peter. The other match we've already covered in one of the prior videos. This quarterfinals match is Argivian Transmogrant, which is that's Taylor's deck, and we'll look at that here in just a second. And then Peter is running another form of blue-red control using time elementals and mana drains, ghost ships, serendibs, rook eggs. He calls it Bounce It, Flip It, Bop It, named after some weird 80s game that he told me it was named after. It looks like John Eccleberry has joined us. Let me see if John wants to join in.
What's up?
John, I didn't know if you were going to be able to make it.
I actually just woke up from a nap, so yeah, let's do this.
You're freshly napped. Okay, I've just done the intro. Let me share the... are you muted in the whereby over there? I think I muted you.
Yeah, I'm in the whereby right now, and I'm muted and camera off.
So I will share my my slides, and you can follow along with me. I was just getting into the deck tech. I'm doing the stream now. So
perfect.
We've got this matchup is Argivian Transmogrant versus what Peter called Bounce It, Flip It, Bop It. So we'll start with Taylor's Argivian Transmogrant deck.
Excellent.
So this is an interesting, I guess you could call iteration on William Kuhn's deck. And William Kuhn played a really, really strong Argivian Transmogrant White Weenie deck in Tournament 11. And, Taylor took that and evolved it a little further, incorporating green. What do you think of this build?
Yeah, I like it. My only question is, what artifacts is he really getting back other than the Transmogrants, or is that just the whole trick? Like,
that's the whole trick.
I'm surprised that there's not like Silver Bullet Triskelion or just something, since he has the ability to get artifacts back, that there isn't a little bit more somewhere in there, even in the board.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Chad, can you hear me?
Oh, hold on a second. Let me.
Yep.
Hey, Taylor, I can hear you. Give us just a minute. Taylor, I can hear you. Give us just a minute. We're doing the deck tech.
Okay, let me.
All right. So, with Taylor's deck here, it's all about the Argivian Transmogrant and the Scavenger Folks and the Divine Offerings. That's really what it comes down to. I'm surprised you didn't also, maybe squeeze in a crumble or two, but they are in the sideboard. So all this deck wants to do is, get down some early weenies, get in some early damage, and then once your opponent gets a creature in play, you put the Transmogrant on it, and then you pop it with Divine Offering or the Scavenger Folk, or he's also got Dust to Dust in his sideboard. John, you still with me? Looks like we lost John. Let me try him back here.
I was just muted, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought we lost you. Okay, so yeah, we're just doing the deck tech. So what this Argivian Transmogrant deck does is it just basically turns things into artifacts and then destroys the artifacts.
Right, unlimited removal, basically.
Well, it's not unlimited, but certainly with Dust to Dust, you can, what I saw in some of the other matches was, if they have an artifact, and you, like a Fel or Stone or something like that, and you get your Transmogrant in, well, you can take out, an artifact plus a creature, and you can just keep getting the Transmogrant over and over each turn if they can't kill the Archaeologist. He's also got Preachers. I'm surprised he's not running Diamond Valley, but he's got Preachers. He is running Diamond Valley. He's got it there underneath the Pendlehaven. So he's running Preacher Diamond Valley to take other creatures and then Diamond Valley munch them. And he's got the Elves and the Scavenger Folk for early damage, and then the Urnums for mid game damage.
Right.
And then he's also got Spirit Links. So if he can't destroy it with the Transmogrant and a Divine Offering or a Scavenger Folk, then he can, last resort, he can Spirit Link it.
Lots and lots of ways to deal with creatures.
Yeah. And he's running a Revelation and an Ivory Tower. That's an interesting choice. Revelation's really good against, Living Plane and Abyss and all the other enchant worlds out there. He's got a Caracas, a Mishra's Factory, and then a bunch of green-white lands. I don't know what his land count is exactly, because I can't see the total number of forests and plains he's got going on there, but it looks like he's got a very low mana curve, so he could probably get away with running 22 lands, 23 maybe, but he does have the 2 Diamond Valley, and they don't tap for mana, so...
Right.
It's an interesting build. Let's take a look at Peter's deck. Peter made a very cool circular deck picture for the
excellent deck photo.
Yeah, really creative. It's like a kaleidoscope here. Yeah, so I guess it's 61 cards with the recall in the middle, and it's got the 4 time elementals, the 4 serendibs, the 4 rook eggs. I think he's running 3 falling stars with 1 in the sideboard. Boomerangs, remove souls, all the usual suspects, and then he's got the ghost ship. Looks like he's got 1. It's kind of hard to read this deck picture. Your eyes are just circling when you're trying to count them up. It looks like he's got 3 ghost ship.
I see 3 ghost boats. Yeah.
Ghost boat. And then, of course, the mandatory mana drains, a couple of detonates, and a couple of Jaloom Tomes and Sylvan Library. No Sylvan Sinbad in this one, but also Immolation. He's got 2 Immolations. Peter and I have been talking about how he views Immolation as like an extra Chain Lightning, almost, sort of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really is, and it's nice to be able to use it and save the Chain Lightning for something else if necessary. This is a really good deck. I mean, it's gonna give everybody a hard time. I'm playing a blue deck in this tournament that plays a lot of the same cards Peter's playing, but he's layered red over top on his, and you see some powerful cards here. I think that Falling Star is a card that we haven't seen very much, but is really powerful. The detonates could be good. Maybe not as good against Taylor, since he's just got the Transmogrants, but Peter's got stuff he can bring in from the sideboard as well.
Well, this deck is really tough, mainly because of the midterm impact of time elemental. Once Peter's got a bunch of land in play, he can stave off weenies and things early to mid game with the Falling Stars and Chain Lightnings, get established with a Rook or a Serendib or a Ghost Ship. But then once he gets the time elemental down, as you've seen from your deck, your blue deck, I mean, it's like you're going to be bouncing a permanent every turn for the rest of the game. So your opponent can get completely locked out, and with that, if they can't get rid of the time elemental.
Yeah, I like the mechanic a lot, and the repeatability of it, of course, makes it, pretty easy to get a lock on somebody as long as, time elemental gets killed a lot, don't get me wrong, but when he doesn't get killed, he can really lock up the game. And honestly, I've been really super impressed with Boomerang this month. I've always loved that card anyway, but it can be such a tempo breaker, and it can be such a surprise when somebody thinks they've got you, and you can just tell a card to go away, and then maybe you can even counter it when it comes back down.
Yeah.
The mechanic is excellent.
Yeah, it's really strong. So once again, Peter's got a very highly optimized, finely tuned deck. I think if we look at Taylor's deck here, what do you think his chances are?
Oh man. Well, Chad's definitely got Peter's definitely got removal, for the little guys. so he's not going to be worried about, you know, all these 1/1 creatures.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge risk, actually. One falling star could wipe everything out except the Urnum, and if he has a chain lightning, he can take that too.
He can finish the Urnum as well, yeah. And by the time Urnum could come down real early, but if he doesn't, you know, that'll be an easy card to either counter or bounce. I don't know. We'll see. It just depends. I mean, if Taylor can come out really fast, he might be able to get him. But this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I think I would predict that Taylor's going to have a really hard time. I mean, Avoid Fate is an interesting card to main deck here. He's got one on the sideboard as well, where he can target an instant or, you know, an enchant creature spell, aura spell that targets something he controls. So Boomerang, he does have an answer for Boomerang in Avoid Fate, because that targets, but there's really, and he has an answer for Immolation with the Avoid Fate as well. So that's kind of interesting. But I think the Falling Star is going to be the the nail in the coffin for Taylor here, because he'll get his board wiped out, and his only option will be, hopefully he could pop the Transmogrant and sacrifice his Scavenger Folk in response or something like that. But yeah, I think I have to predict that Taylor's going to have a really tough time with Peter's deck.
Yeah, we will. We'll see.
In his sideboard, he's got 2 Dust to Dust, 2 more Revelations, another Avoid Fate, 3 Festivals, some COP artifacts, some Dancing Scimitars, and 2 Crumbles. So his sideboard is not going to be all that much help. Although it might be interesting if he plays Revelation, then he'll be able to see when Peter has a Falling Star in his hand. And maybe he might be able to manage how many weenies he puts out, and just kind of manage it that way.
That's possible.
All right, well, I think the guys are going to be joining us here in just a minute. Let's see who's in. I see Taylor is in. Hey,
Yeah,
Taylor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Taylor, we got a little bit of an echo.
You got an echo?
Yeah, do you have
my
headphones available you could use?
What? Yeah.
So Taylor is on a cruise. I think it's actually is it a magic cruise? Or is it some other cruise?
Does that fix the echo? It might have been me with you on the computer and you on the phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that did fix it.
I muted my computer.
Ah.
Is Taylor still there?
Yeah, I think he is. He said just a second. So he's balancing, getting this game in while he's on a cruise. He's got kids and family and stuff. And
that's funny. It's funny that he's got his cards with him.
Yeah, well, he planned this, right? We talked about it before the tournament. He's like, I don't know if I can sign up. He's like, if I make it to the semifinals, I'm going to be on a cruise. and I was like, they got internet on a cruise. You can bring your cards. And he's like, all right. So he did.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't lose his signal at sea.
Well, you can see his bandwidth is not great. He's got the little bar.
Yeah, I think Peter was planning to join us at 7:30 sharp, so we got 6 more minutes.
Okay. Well, yeah, so...
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right.
Yeah, that's... Hey, Taylor, it was John's computer that was doing the echo. You sound great.
Computer?
I just can't hear Taylor now, but that's all right.
Yeah, Taylor.
John, it was John's computer.
It was John's computer that was echoing. Yeah.
All right, hold on a second.
So yeah, you sound good now. That's quite the view you've got.
Yeah.
Which ocean are you on?
How about now? Is there still an echo?
No, the sound sounds good.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
which ocean are you sailing on?
The Atlantic.
Yeah, where are you going?
Down to the Bahamas.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to some yet. Let me talk, Chris. So, yeah, tomorrow. Don't know exactly what island we're going to, but it's a whole bunch of stuff I haven't been to yet. Oh, he was asking. Oh, it's talking about Caracas.
Oh yeah, Peter's asking about your deck photo. He was wondering what your lands were.
Yeah. He's checking out my deck to see if he can beat it.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. It's something we want to do for sure. In fact, we were just showing the deck photos. Did you get a chance to look at Peter's deck? You can see it here.
I saw
I'm sharing
the way
it for
he
us.
had it. He has it all spread out. I was looking at it when you were showing it when your deck tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting way to lay out your deck. It shows all the cards, but the viewer has to do a little bit more work to, add up the exact quantities of which card. But yeah, I mean, he's got a lot going on in this deck. It's got early ways to deal with creatures with, the immolations and the chain lightnings. He's got the Serendibs, you can get those out on turn 3, no problem. The falling stars are really killer, and they wipe out all the weenies.
Yeah, those are gonna get me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play around those.
Yeah, those are gonna get me.
Well, it's a big challenge with the deck that he's playing. And with your deck, he's got 3 of those falling stars and a 4th one in the sideboard. So yeah, you're gonna have to get in there early, get as much damage in as possible, and hopefully you can. When he wipes your board, you can take out some guys with the Scavenger Folk and the Transmogrant or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so Peter wanted us to start at 7:30 sharp. That's 1 minute, so we're almost ready. I turned the music off because it takes up some bandwidth, and hopefully that'll make it it'll make it better for you on your reception there.
Can you bring up Taylor's deck photo real quick?
Sure. So are you running a Caracas, one Caracas, Taylor, or are there 2 Caracas? Oh, did we lose Taylor? Looks like we lost him.
Yeah, I don't see him in the room anymore. Hopefully he can come right back.
Internet bandwidth on a cruise ship. It's gonna be interesting to see if this is actually going to work.
Yeah, well, this might not happen.
It might not fly. It's all satellite internet on those cruise ships, so not the greatest.
Right.
Is that your cat, John?
Yeah, she's losing her mind for some reason.
She wants to be on the stream.
Well, we've got 2 commentators and no players.
2 commentators, no players. Good times.
Excellent.
Peter's in.
Just on
There's
time,
Peter.
I think, pretty much. Hey, guys.
Peter, we just had Taylor, and we lost him.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we just had him, and we just lost him.
Oh, man. Oh, well, hopefully you can come back. You know, sometimes the seas are choppy with this.
Yeah, we were just saying, doing a game with satellite internet on a cruise ship is that's a risky venture right there.
Cool, man. So, what was the pre-game ramble? What did you guys think?
Well, I think that just looking at the deck pictures, I think, and Taylor admitted this too. We were talking with him about it. I mean, he's just going to get wrecked by Falling Star. So he's going to have to be very judicious about not putting out too many creatures at one time. You know, force you to Falling Star and then play more creatures. That's the only answer he's got. If he can get some early damage in and then deal with your creatures later on, you know, he's got a lot of ways to deal with your creatures if he can keep the Argivian Ashnod's Transmogrant kind of thing combo going. But that's going to be really tough with all the Falling Stars and Chain Lightnings.
That's I was thinking about his deck just now because I haven't really thought about it too much until now. But he's got a lot of he's got some really aggressive creatures, and he can put out Urnums quite quickly.
Yeah,
and he can also kind of I was thinking I'm probably not going to just play out any Serendibs
because of the Spirit Links.
Yeah, it just puts me in a bad place. I'd rather if I have to play it as a blocker, okay, fine. But if I'm not pressured, I'm probably not going to play them out. The Preacher's kind of a problem, but I should have enough answers to it. And I looked at his deck, and besides Preacher, he doesn't have an answer to Time Elemental.
Right. Well, there's no answer to Time Elemental unless you have red.
Well, yeah, you just burn it away, or you black you can get rid of it.
Red or black, yeah, but you've got to do it when your opponent can't respond and when he's got summoning sickness. Otherwise, then you've got that Time Elemental there for who knows how long, bouncing who knows how many things.
Yeah, but he has a Void Fate, which actually I don't think really works. Actually, it works to his advantage against my Immolations.
Yeah, against Immolations and Boomerangs, it's really good.
And the Boomerangs, it works to it and he's got 3 of those, and I was kind of taking account of that. And I think the Sylvan Library land tax, he doesn't have a lot of land taxes in his deck, and he doesn't have a lot of Sylvans, but so he really doesn't have he has only 2 of each. But should he get that combo really early, that's gonna be very strong.
Yeah, well,
it's very, very strong. It's gonna be basically an ancestral recall every turn, almost.
He's not showing online anymore. I guess he lost his internet connection altogether.
Seems like he might, yeah.
Well, this may be a no-go then.
Well, my wife will be relieved because we're out of icing sugar and we got cakes to bake for tomorrow, and I got to go get some. If it doesn't work out, at least I'll be, it's going to be much later for me, though, unfortunately, I think.
Yeah.
I can try for this week, but yeah, I'll try for earlier, but I've actually been very hard to connect with my X Points matches, and I've got, speaking of groups that you think run smoothly, but I mean, I think I've got 2 of my 5 people that played so far, and I think I've got to finish that up like next week. And anyways, we shall see. All right, maybe give it another 5, 10 at the most, and call it.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Well, while we're doing this.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Who am I? John, am I unmuted on you somewhere?
Yeah, I can hear you right now, Chad.
We're getting another echo from you.
From me?
Are you?
From John.
How is that possible? Hold on.
Oh, I can meet you in the
How about
whereby.
now? Why can't I hear you on my phone?
Oh, well, John, I've still got our messenger call up so we can switch over to commentary.
You
But
still there, Chad?
yeah, I'm here, John. Let's talk through the whereby for now, and then just mute this messenger call, and then if we get Taylor back, we'll switch to the messenger call.
All right, that's fine. I can do it that way.
All right. So, Peter, while we're waiting to see if Taylor can join us, do you want to talk about your deck and how you came up with this deck build?
It was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember now.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away?
Feels that way. What? I've been trying to make funkier decks every tournament.
Ah, Taylor's back.
Is he back? That's cool. Hey, Taylor, you're back. There's the metal worker.
Oh, and his bandwidth looks better.
Oh, good.
All right.
Good.
Well, yeah. Do you want to just make
I hope so.
You want to make just a final comment on your deck, Peter, and we'll get started on your match?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I just was going for something funky, to be honest. And I thought that the Time Elemental is a fun creature to try to do something with. And then the first deck I built ended up being like almost a carbon copy of Parker's. So I retired that and I went to this one.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys are ready to get started, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Sure am. Oh, hold on. My daughter's near the electrical panel. Calvi.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing there? Yeah, you're not allowed to come over today. Right?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Taylor, did you lose internet connectivity there?
Hello?
Yeah, Taylor, we hear you.
All right.
Did you lose internet connectivity there, Taylor?
I don't know. I think my phone reconnected, and if my phone connects, it boots me on my laptop.
Got it. All right. Well, we're going to let you guys play this match. John and I are going to go on mute, and good luck to both of you guys.
Awesome.
Good luck. Have fun.
All right.
Here we are again.
Here we are again. Okay. So I muted those guys, and we're muted, but we're talking on the messenger for our audio, so I think we're good. Can you hear me okay?
Right on. Yep, everything's good on my end.
Okay. All right, so Taylor's a little choppy, but hopefully Peter will be able to make out what's on his board.
Yeah.
Pretty cool that he's got the ocean drifting by in the background. That's pretty awesome.
Kind of hypnotic.
Yeah. Maybe I'll turn their volume up a little bit.
You want to cut?
Yeah, sure. How about I'll say this one is 1.
I wish there was a way to just like get a transcript of what they're saying without having their audio talk over our audio.
Oh yeah, yeah, just like on the bottom of the screen. That would be nice.
I'm sure you could do that now with all the AI tools. Pretty cool playmat that Taylor has there. Is that a Triskelion or what is that?
No, that's a different card. It's a metal worker, isn't it?
Oh, the metal worker. That's what it is.
Yeah. Kind of reminiscent of the trike, though.
Yeah, a little bit. So I guess he's using his cell phone as his camera, and he must have it up on a tripod or something. He's kind of playing at an angle. That's an interesting way to do it. Playing one-handed. Okay, so Taylor plays. It looks like he won the roll. Plays first. Plays an Elves of Deep Shadow.
Strong start.
I mean, if he can get in there early, he does have a chance. Like, it's not a foregone conclusion that Peter's going to win, but he needs to get an Urnum like on turn. He needs to play a land and what would he need? He would need either a Scavenger Folk or Sylvan Library or something, or land tax. Any of those would be good, or even a Factory or a Pendlehaven would be nice. He needs something like that, and then he needs to play a turn 3 Urnum and have Peter not have a boomerang in hand and not have a mana drain. So he's got to dodge a lot of crap.
Yeah, I think Pendlehaven on 2 and swing for 2, and then Urnum on 3 would probably be ideal. But we'll see what he gets here. I think that's Savannah that he just played.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because I think the longer the game goes on, the more Peter's deck is favored.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Taylor needs to get in there fast. He needs to get in there early, and that's one of the challenges with, with what he's got going on in his deck. He's only got creature removal and artifact removal. He doesn't have a way to counter spells. He doesn't have a way to really slow down his opponent, because Peter's not running Fellwar Stones and things like that. He's just running more lands. Okay, so it looks like he's playing that's probably a land tax. Look, I think he played another Elves of Deep Shadow and a land tax, so that could be good. And it looks like he's attacked with one of the elves. All right, so Peter drops a Taiga. And there's an immolation on an elf.
It's a Four Horsemen version of bolting the bird, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he can still possibly play an Urnum next turn, and that would be huge if Peter doesn't have a boomerang in hand. How many boomerangs is Peter running? 4. Or is he only running 2? Looks like he's only running 2 boomerangs. Yeah, so this is basically, this is Taylor's shot right here. Oh, and is he doing it? Is he doing it? Come on, Taylor. Urnum Jin, he's doing it. I don't think anything else in his deck costs 4. So I think this is it, John. I think he's going to do the third turn Urnum.
Well, let's see if he can go the distance.
All right. Go, Taylor. Okay, so now Peter is going to... Let's see if Peter gets a third land. I'm pretty sure he will, since he seems to always have the land he needs. He hasn't dropped a land yet, though. If Peter gets a third land, pretty much Serendib Efreet or Jaloom Tome or a Time Elemental is what he can play. I mean, it won't do him any good to do the Falling Star now, because he would need another chain to finish off the Urnum. So there is a chance that this third turn Urnum here could be a factory. What a great card to have right here. Okay, how about that, John?
The card's bonkers even at 1 of, but as you know in our playtesting last night, it can pop up quite often.
Yeah. Well, that is a great land for him to have, because if he has to, he can use it as a blocker, so he cannot take so much damage, on the next attack. But Taylor should be able to get in here for 5 damage, possibly. What would really be phenomenal is if Taylor can drop a second Urnum while Peter is tapped out here.
Yeah, that would be like kind of the optimal play, really. Boom.
All right. So Taylor attacks in for 5, and Peter's down to 14.
Well, he doesn't have another one because he attacked with the elf. Another elf.
A third elf. Ugh, not the best card to have. He should strip mine right away, that factory. I wouldn't even let Peter get to 4 lands if I were Taylor. I would have just gone ahead and stripped it. But he might be wanting to hold out for Maze of Ith or something.
Yeah, it's really tough because he's only got the 1 strip, right? So, like, he has to use it judiciously. But at the same time, holding Peter back is going to be his best chance. I mean, it's funny, we were talking about card frequency and cards popping up. It's funny that he drew triple Elves of Deep Shadow. Had he drawn triple Urnum and 1 Elves of Deep Shadow, this would be like a pretty baller game for him.
Oh, yeah. He would probably crush it. But yeah, instead he got the 3 elves and the 1 Urnum. Okay, so Peter gets up to land count 4 here with an island. So now he can...
I feel like he's going to play a Rook Egg. Maybe not.
Yeah, Rook Egg would be a really good move. Or a Falling Star plus a chain to finish the Urnum would also be a really good move.
Yeah, just wipe his board.
Yeah.
Well, he's tapping both of his reds? Oh, no. He's thinking about it.
The other great thing about that immolation is you can put the immolation on the Urnum, and then Falling Star can take out Urnum.
So he's just using Chain Lightning? That's interesting.
Yeah, he's Chain Lightning first, and now he's gonna Falling Star. Oh, double Chain Lightning. Oh, double chains for the Urnum. All right, well
that'll do it.
That's rough for Taylor, and now he's got the factory to block the elves.
Yeah, total shutdown.
But he needs to strip mine that factory right away.
I would definitely.
I would have stripped it before even passing the last turn to Peter. Just knowing, having looked at Peter's deck, and kind of gone through it in detail. Okay, so he needs to draw another Urnum here, and he needs to be able to strip that factory. So he's just attacking straight in. That's interesting. I wonder why he's doing that.
Strip it when he activates, I imagine.
Yeah, because he's not running. He's not running Crumble's main deck. His Crumbles are in his sideboard. But he can Divine Offering. I wonder if he's going to...
I mean, maybe that's what he's thinking about. Yeah, he just tapped 2 lands, so...
Yeah, he can certainly Divine Offering. Oh, yeah, there it is. Boom!
I mean,
and he made sure to show it to the camera.
You know what's funny, though? He just Divine Offeringed with 2 forests.
Oh, did he?
I mean, he has white, so it's fine-ish, but it's funny. He accidentally tapped wrong. I wouldn't.
Oh, he fixed it. He fixed it. All right, so now he gets in for 2 more damage. Peter loses a land. That's pretty good. What's going on here?
Peter's getting ready to Sylvan, but then Taylor was like, no, wait, I've still got stuff to do. And then he decided to strip the volcano.
That's a good move. All right, so now he's got Peter down to 2 land. That's a pretty slick move right there. But Peter with the Sylvan Library is able to, grab the land that he needs and get back to 3. All right, so now Peter's got no choice but to play the Dib. If Taylor has a Spirit Link, then, he can deal with the Dib, but the Dib is now going to be blocking all of his stuff. Okay, so here, Taylor needs to draw the Transmogrant, and he needs to have another Divine Offering in order to deal with the Dib. Or he needs another Urnum Djinn. And he's down to 3 land, but he's got the elves, which can come in. All right, there's a Transmogrant. Look at there. How about that? Pretty good timing. So now he can just sacrifice the Transmogrant at any time and turn that Dib into an artifact and then blow it away. But he needs a Divine Offering or a Scavenger Folk in order to do it. And he should do it now if he can, if he has it, because now Peter's going to be set up with mana for Falling Star, and those elves are going to eat it. Did Peter take his damage there during the upkeep? I think he did, right?
He did, yeah. He was at 12, and now he's at 11.
Okay.
I don't know. 11's a long way to go, but it's also tough with that Sylvan Library active. It really gives Peter a lot of card selection, so I don't know.
Right. So Peter elects to attack. This tells me he's got a Falling Star or another Serendib.
I just think he thinks he can race him. He's only got 2 damage on board, and Peter's got 3, so... And he probably will play... Maybe he'll play another Dib, or he'll hold back a counterspell or something.
I would have to assume he's got a Falling Star here, or another Dib.
I think it's another Dib.
There's the Falling Star. Yeah, so that's going to be probably game, I would guess, for Taylor, because he's lost his mana advantage. He can't save the elves. That double chain on the Urnum was really unfortunate. If Peter didn't have that, he would have to be using, the chain and the Falling Star together, and he wouldn't have the mana to do it right now. So that was very, very fortunate for Peter and very unfortunate for Taylor that he had those double chains for the Urnum. All right, so Peter's lining up his 2 lands to be the 2 elves. On Friday night, John, I was playing... who was I playing? I think I was playing Derek. I missed so many of my Falling Star flips. It was crazy. Trying to hit 4 cards and only hitting like 1 or 2. In the match, you get excited, and what I've noticed is if you really The trick is to do a very light flip that's not going to, you know, make the card spin really fast, because if you flip it really with a lot of, you know, oomph, it curves as it's falling, you know. Uh-oh. There goes Taylor. Oh man, this is so bad. The connectivity's bad and the game is rough for Taylor anyway. Peter, it looks like we lost Taylor again.
I know.
Oh no.
It's pretty bad. it's like I can't hear him and he can't hear me.
Yeah.
There he is. He's coming back though.
And this is why Taylor was really worried about playing this match on the cruise ship, because yeah, doing a video call, you can see the bandwidth for Taylor is in the it's got the bad bandwidth whereby symbol.
Well, hopefully he can get back and we can finish game 1 anyway. And then, you know, if these guys need to meet back up to play game 2, that's no big deal. But
You there? Yeah, I don't know what happened.
All right, Taylor is back. Okay, so the falling star blows away the 2 elves, and Peter is now in command and control with his dib. Oh, yeah, you make a great point, John, earlier when you were like talking about how if he had just had 1 elf and 3 Urnums instead of 3 elves and 1 Urnum, like, he would have won this game.
oh yeah, he would have just cranked those Urnums out turn after turn, and like he'd be in the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you can't always have the god hand. I just thought it was interesting that he drew triple elf.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes his bandwidth again. Oh no, here we go. We're back.
You know, it makes you wonder if like this is where like cards like Suchi might be worth the gamble. You know, if you have 4 Suchi and 4 Urnums, the chances of you being able to get 2 of those out fairly early and having, you know, if you have elves and Fellwar stones, like that unto itself could be a deck strategy, right?
Yeah, just jamming and fatties, jamming a 4/4 on turn 3.
All right, so Spirit Link comes down on the Serendib, so he's got a way to deal with the Serendib. That's pretty good, and now he gets to gain life, and Peter's going to lose life. So that could be interesting. You know, Peter could boomerang his Serendib back at some point. He's got, you know, plenty of turns to Sylvan Library and look around and figure out what he wants to get. He is behind on land now quite a bit. You know, he's 2 lands behind what he would have been otherwise because of losing the factory and getting strip mined. Aha. Here comes the dreaded Time Elemental. Now, Taylor must have a Divine Offering for this thing. That is his only shot here. Because now, if he doesn't, Peter can boomerang, basically, the Time Elemental's ability and boomerang, effectively, that Spirit Link. Or boomerang the Serendib and play it again. So he needs the Divine Offering and be able to activate the Transmogrant. Okay, another Transmogrant. Oh, he's thinking about it. Another Transmogrant. This first-person view from Taylor is really interesting. You just see his arm reaching around.
Yeah, I kind of like the over the shoulder. It'd be a weird setup if you weren't using your phone, but it's kind of cool.
I guess he's got it on a tripod or something.
I guess I could set my tripod up behind me when I was recording, and then you'd be able to see. It's kind of interesting.
Now I would have to assume that Taylor does not have a Divine Offering here because he would not want to divine offering the time elemental and get it popped back. So I think he missed his chance. He missed his chance to divine offering the time elemental, and now I think it's going to be a lock. Yep, so the Spirit Link gets bounced, and now the Ifrit gets in for 3, bringing Taylor down to 15. Well, now that Peter is tapped out, John, if Taylor could have drawn into a divine offering, he could have killed that time elemental. So he's missed 2 chances to pop the time elemental. That means he didn't have a scavenger folk or a divine offering.
Yeah, he's got a few turns. He's got 16 life still, but he's gonna have to find an answer here.
Well, and it's got to be, he's going to have to draw into a divine offering when Peter is tapped. Otherwise, he can just pop the time element or whatever's being targeted back into his hand. Okay, so he plays the Spirit Link again, and Peter bounces it again and attacks with the Serendib. All right, so he's 16, so he's down to 13. All right, come on, divine offering for Taylor. Taylor's not running a dust to dust main deck. In William Kuhn's deck, he had 1 dust to dust main, and he had 2 more in the sideboard. The scavenger folk are good, but in this case, he's got 2 transmogrants. If he had a dust to dust main deck, he could just pop it, 1 on each dude when Peter's tapped, and dust to dust both of those guys.
So there's double Spirit Link on it now. I mean, he can just bounce the Ifrit then and get rid of both of those.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. Yeah, so now the Ifrit just needs to come back, and he can get rid of both. Yeah.
I mean, he'll do it at end of. Well, maybe he'll do it now. Maybe he's got nothing better to do right now. Yep, he's doing it. What? That's not how I would have played that, but that's fine. Why not just bounce the Ifrit and permanently get rid of both of those? Why bounce one of them? It doesn't make any sense. I understand why he bounced a single one before, because then he could attack and he could continue to get damage in, but I don't really understand bouncing one.
Well, and Peter is now at 6 lands, and Taylor remembered to trigger his land tax. I think he forgot last turn, because he was at 5 lands last turn. So he remembered the land tax this time.
Yeah, I'm just super surprised he didn't just bounce the Ifrit and have both the Spirit Links go to the graveyard, and then the following turn he could have just. I thought he was just going to do nothing, just play a land and pass, and then at end of turn, bounce the Ifrit, nuking both of the Spirit Links, and then replaying the Ifrit on his turn. But now he's stuck in a weird spot. I don't know. I mean, I guess he can just do that this time if he thinks of it.
Well, and we've lost Taylor again.
Yeah, it's tough, and I know that Peter's on a clock tonight, so we might only get this one game in.
I was looking through my box of red, John, to make the red deck that we were kind of talking about last night.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
And I don't have enough Infernos. I think I only have 2. I'm gonna have to proxy an Inferno.
I can mail you 2. I've got some extra 4th edition copies.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah, I'll have to proxy them. I mean, they're real cheap. They're like 30 cents or something.
Yeah, they're not very expensive, but I mean, if you're not buying anything else, it's not worth trying to fill up your cart for free shipping, you know, when I can just stick 1 stamp on an envelope.
Right. I don't know if this mono red deck will have a shot, but I think just like the Eureka deck, I just want to try it just to see, you know, how it will do.
Yeah, I just like to try different stuff out, and like the black deck that I've been testing with that we kind of decided probably isn't quite good enough. I'm gonna keep tinkering with it just because it's just fun to play with something different, and it's funny because it is good against, you know, a certain tier of decks. I mean, it's kind of a rock paper scissors thing, but I've been playing it against other people on our Thursday night meetups, and it's been doing really well. But if you run into somebody playing like Pyrotechnics and Falling Star and stuff like that, it folds pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Taylor plays the Spirit Link again. And he really needs to draw into a Divine Offering, but notice now Peter's leaving his 2 blue up. And now that he's got 6 mana, he can activate the time elemental every turn and save 2 blue for his mana drain. So now it's just like, I feel like it's really game over. Another card that I need to get is Blazing Effigy. I have 1 Italian Legends common, one of those.
I also only have 1 copy of that card.
Yeah.
Because I was going through and just trying to make sure I had 1 of every old school card, and so there were a lot of commons that I just bought 1 of, and it wasn't reprinted in anything. So
yeah,
I'll have to pick some more of those up. They're super cheap, but
yeah,
you know, just got to get them.
Right. All right, so Peter, now this is interesting. Peter's taking a big risk here. Peter is tapping out to play a ghost ship.
So Taylor didn't recast the second Spirit Link?
I think he did, and then Peter mana drained it, I think.
Okay, he mana drained it, okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know. Tapping out here to get another flyer seems unnecessarily risky to me, but...
Yeah, I agree.
Again, I suppose... It's just funny because Peter's usually a pretty metered player. Like, I don't see him taking tons of risks. Maybe he just wants to make sure he gets lethal on board as fast as possible. I don't know. And yeah, Taylor's just got 2 lands. He's throwing it. Oh, no, he's land taxing.
Yeah, he's land taxing.
I thought he was throwing it in his hand.
No, yeah, he's land taxing again. He forgot to do it 1 turn. He remembered this time. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe Peter's worried about an Urnum Djinn coming down, but really would he be worried when he's got the time elemental? Yep, he's got those lands. What really needs to happen here is what's been needing to happen for the last 4 turns in a row, and that is Taylor needs to draw a Divine Offering. And I really wish Taylor had been running Dust to Dust main instead of sideboard for these situations, because he could easily, with the 2 Transmogrants, take out the time elemental and the ghost ship or something, and really help him turn the game around. But unfortunately, those Dust to Dust are only in his sideboard.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot here because even if he gets removal for something now, there's enough threats on the board that it's not going to matter. Like, Peter's just going to time elemental the enchantment back again and come in for 5.
Right.
And, you know, rinse, wash, repeat.
I will use my Wall of Heat as a blazing effigy for now. I'll proxy it with that. Okay, so now the Spirit Link comes out, and a Diamond Valley, another card that he really doesn't need right here. Where are all his Urnums? You know? So it's got to be real frustrating for him to have, like, a lot of these other cards that he doesn't need, and the cards that he does need, like Urnum Gem, Divine Offering, he's not getting enough of.
Well, the problem is there's a pretty high density of cards in his deck right now that are all bad top decks in this situation. Like, if he draws any of his 1/1s, of which there are many, they're pretty bad. If he draws, like, something like Preacher, that's bad because it can just get time elemental. I mean, I don't think he can possibly win this game. I mean, there's not really a universe where he wins this one.
Mm.
I guess if he removed the time elemental and he removed, I don't know, the Ifrit, so that he's only taken 2 a turn, and then somehow got a Preacher and, like, stole the other guy or something. But I mean, that'd have to be like a pretty wild sequence of, you know, the stars would have to align just right.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting by playing the Spirit Link every turn, it is forcing Peter to use a lot of mana every turn, but he has enough to do what he needs to do anyways. A second land tax. So now he'll be able to land tax twice and get all the land out of his deck. So Peter goes down to 4 life here. He is getting kind of low. And Taylor goes to 10. It's funny because in the pregame, Peter was saying that he was telling himself he's just not going to play his turn to Ifrit. But he had to play it because he didn't have the Falling Star at that time. Okay, so now he pops the Spirit Link back. And attacks for 5. And now they're basically tied up at 5-4. There's a Chain Lightning for 3 more, taking him to 2.
That seems unnecessary, but sure. I mean, if you can't kill him with the Chain Lightning, why play it?
There's the Spirit Link again. And another Spirit Link. Ooh. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, he'll just have to bounce, either of them and attack. I mean, it's game over.
Yeah. So when we go to game 2, Taylor's going to need to sideboard in all his crumbles and dust to dusts. And he's going to need his Scavenger Folk and his Transmogrants. And he's just going to have to hope and pray that he gets an early Urnum.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Peter's got some huge threat on the board, but if he sticks a couple of creatures, he's going to get you eventually. But if Taylor can just kind of remove the few threats, they might be able to go for a longer game. I don't know. This should be the last turn, I think, though. All he's got to do is bounce the Spirit Link that's on the Urnum and attack for 3.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why he's, like, recalling and stuff here.
Would he get back a Mana Drain or a Chain Lightning? He got back the Chain Lightning.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's a different path to victory. It's just so funny, like, it all could have been achieved with less cards, but it seems fine. A game is a win is a win. I mean, I guess when you have so many outs, it doesn't really matter what way you do it.
Well, let's jump over to the deck tech. Do you need me to share the decks on the whereby screen, or could you have them handy, John?
Well, you gonna bring up Taylor's deck photo?
Yeah, I can either share it through the whereby, or if you have Messenger, you can just pull it up.
Oh yeah, I can do it that way if you want.
Yeah, that way I don't mess with what these guys are doing. So let's start with Taylor's deck. I posted both of them in the Four Horsemen chat, the T12 chat, so you can just grab them from there. Let me know what you got Taylor's deck up.
Yeah, I'll just pull up Discord real quick and look at it in there.
Okay, so I think, as we talked about in the pregame deck tech, the biggest weakness is Falling Star for Taylor. So I really feel like his Preachers they're going to be, the Preachers and the Scavenger Folk both and the Argivian Archaeologists are going to all be hard to use, because Peter's got 8 cards plus the 2 immolations. So he's got 10 cards that can deal with these weenies, and 4 of them can take out multiples. So it's really, really, really tough for Taylor to have a good matchup here. One thing he could put in, though, that would really be pretty good against Peter is those Dancing Scimitars, because they're 1/5 flyers for 4. And they can block the Serendibs, they can block the Ghost Ship, and they're kind of tough to get rid of. Peter does not have artifact destruction in his deck. Well, he does. He's got 2 detonates. So he can deal, and he's got 2 artifact blasts in his sideboard. So he can deal with some artifacts. I really feel like he needs to double down on his Transmogrant strategy. So I would put in the 2 Dust to Dust and the 2 Crumbles. That's 4 cards. I would take out... what to take out? I think the Preacher Diamond Valley is going to be the hardest combo for him to pull off, because Peter will get rid of Preacher anytime he can. It can be Falling Starred, and they have to sit around for 1 turn. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe the strategy should be pull out the 2 Diamond Valleys and the 4 Preachers, and put in, that's 6 cards, and put in the 2 Dust to Dust, the 2 Crumbles, and 2 of the Dancing Scimitars. That could be one path forward. I think the Ivory Tower is pretty much useless to Taylor. He's going to, as you saw, even when he was healthily ahead in life, he needs to be able to focus on the strategy of the Divine Offerings, the Dust to Dust, the Scavenger Folk, and the Transmogrants with the Archaeologists. So I think I would get rid of that Ivory Tower as well. And maybe he could play an extra Revelation instead and have the couple of Revelations. That way he can see Peter's hand and see when he's got counterspells and things like that. That could be very handy. John, are you still with me?
Yep, I'm here. That doesn't seem too bad. I don't know. It's just tough. It's not a good matchup for him. I was looking at Peter's deck and seeing what he's probably going to bring in, and he'll bring in another Falling Star and probably a Maze of Ith, and shore up his defenses even more than they already are.
Yes, that's right. So let's look at Peter's deck. He'll just bring in his 1 extra Falling Star, and I think that's all he needs. He might bring in the flash counters. He could take out maybe one Jaloom Tome and put in a flash counter if he wanted.
Just flash counter anything, and I guess it counters Divine Offering.
It counters Divine Offering and Crumble, which are two critical things. So, yeah, I think what I would do if I were Peter is I would actually. He was saying that he does not like Serendib in this matchup. Although Serendib helped him win the last game. He could pull out his Serendibs.
It's like literally his win condition. I don't know how he can not like it.
Well, he doesn't like it because of Spirit Link, and I understand. But he's got a couple boomerangs, and he's got the 4 time elementals. So if I were him, I would take out a Sylvan Library and a Jaloom Tome. Actually, I might take out all the Sylvan Libraries and Jaloom Tomes. How many has he got? 2 of each? And he could then put in the 3 flash counters and the 1 falling star. Another way to go about it would be he could pull out the detonates. But the detonates are going to be very useful for getting rid of the artifacts normally. But in this case, the Transmogrant can be activated as an instance. So I think the detonates for Peter need to come out. So if he pulls out 2 detonates, 1 Jaloom Tome and 1 Sylvan, that's 4 cards. Then he could put in the 3 flash counters and the falling star. I think that would be a good move. Let's see where these guys are at. All right, they're taking a little break, so they got their 3 piles going. So for Peter, I think that's what I would do. For Taylor, I think I would go that route. I would ditch those 2 Diamond Valleys, and I would ditch my 4 Preachers. And I would put in the 2 Dust to Dust, the 2 Crumbles, and I'd put in 2 of the Dancing Scimitars. Then I'd take out the Ivory Tower, and I would put in an extra Revelation. The Avoid Fates are also, I don't know. The only thing that Avoid Fate is going to do is counter an instant that targets a creature. So there's not a lot of instants that target creatures. He could pull out the Avoid Fates and put in that last Scimitar and Revelation and have 3 Revelations, and hopefully maybe he could get to a point where he could really easily see Peter's hand. That might be an angle for him.
Yeah, that seems like a fine plan. I feel like the Avoid Fates are an easy side out.
Yeah. All right, so we take out the 3 Avoid Fates, the Ivory Tower, so that's 4 cards. And then we put in the 2 Dust to Dust and the 2 Crumbles. We could take out the 2 Diamond Valleys and we could take out 1 Preacher and 1 Diamond Valley and put in 2 of the Dancing Scimitars, and then we could take out the Ivory Tower and put in the 3rd Dancing Scimitar. And then if you really wanted to, you could pull out a Preacher, 1 more Preacher, and put in a 2nd Revelation and have trying for 2 of those. That way you're at least leaving 1 Preacher in the deck. Let's see where these guys are. They should probably be getting ready. Okay, so Peter's drawing his hand. Let me switch back over to the game. All right, here we go. Okay, so Taylor's going to be on the play since he lost that first game. So we're rooting for Taylor to have a first turn Dark Elves and a second turn land tax would probably be really good, or Sylvan Library. And then we need a 3rd turn Urnum. And then we need to see some Transmogrants and some Crumbles, or something along those lines. All right. That's looking good. First turn elf or scavenger folk would be great. What is that? There's the dark elves. It's the new art printing.
The Ravnica Black version.
And it looks like a chain lightning for the dark elf. Like you were saying, the Four Horsemen version of Bolt the Elf or Bolt the Bird. Yeah, so Peter's being very aggressive to make sure that Taylor cannot get that early Urnham Gen out. Oh, and Taylor dropped. It's got to be frustrating for Peter.
Well, especially since he's trying to make sure he gets the matches in a timely fashion. But, I mean, he knows what's up, so hopefully we'll get him right back.
I wonder what's actually going on with Taylor's connection, that it keeps coming in and then dropping out.
Well,
Well, I guess we'll have to add to the Four Horsemen rules book. No, no games at sea.
well, fortunately, we got that first game in, and this is just like turn 2 or whatever. So, I mean, they can play game 2 again at another time if needed.
Weird. He's having internet connectivity problems. Just getting connected to the boat's Wi-Fi. He just sent me a message. He's probably overloading. They probably cap each individual's, person's bandwidth at a very small amount. And he's probably like hitting the max on it because he's trying to video stream, upload. That's probably what's going on.
Hey, yeah, you guys can you hear me, Peter? Yeah, you guys got one game in, that's fine. You can always play the second game later, because who knows if he's going to get a connection again. We know you got stuff to do.
And he's going to lose it again, too. It's probably frustrating for him as well.
Yeah.
He wants to probably play better. It must be stressful. He's trying to play a game. He's gotten this far, and now his internet's not working for him.
Yeah, he sent me a screenshot. What's happening is he's getting actually kicked off the boat's Wi-Fi every 5 minutes. It's just kicking him off.
That's super annoying.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind. I'll just wrap it up. I'll just put this away. No stress. And
Okay.
We'll just meet
All right.
up
Well,
on, whenever he's back.
Here's the thing, Peter. He's going to be on this cruise for the next, I think, 7 or 8 days.
He said he gets back Friday.
Well, on a day when we can just do this again, but you know, maybe get another game in at sea as well, but a different day.
Yeah, she even had trains. I know. You played with them, I saw.
I mean, I don't know if he gets back on right now. I'd just try, but I mean, I don't want to pressure him either.
Yeah, it might be better to try to finish it now because it'll at least be another week before he'll be able to have any different Wi-Fi.
That's what I was saying. I was thinking, well, try, but yeah, okay. John's already saying, or wait, maybe he's trying to do it. I don't know. I mean, I'll stick around.
I asked him if he could reboot his computer and see if that helps.
Yeah. I'm not bothered by it at all. It's a little hard. Like, obviously, it's a little whatever, but we make do. And, but I think he said he's back to his home on Friday.
Okay.
He wasn't gone for all that long, so theoretically we could play a proper game.
Quarterfinals are supposed to be finished tonight. Not next. The tournament's over next Saturday, so waiting to finish a quarterfinals match, that's going to be a big problem.
On Friday, he might be back Friday, like that.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be done with the finals by Saturday. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but what are you proposing we do because he's not able to connect? Like,
my suggestion is he said he's rebooting. My suggestion is to try and finish this match because otherwise it will delay the semifinals and finals if he have to wait till next Friday.
It seems like he's giving up though. It's like John was like, "No worries, man. Game 2, we can play another day." And he says, "Troubleshoot worked last time. I really wanted this to work, but so it sounds like he's giving up maybe."
Getting real good about not eating fast food is fun.
Sorry.
I'm eating no McDonald's, really, so I'm just gonna kind of stay on that path.
This is gonna keep you on the
If he
wagon.
comes back, I'll keep.
Yeah, well, and also like this is just like dinner. Like I'm not choosing fast food when I'm alone.
Okay, he's back online now.
Yeah.
Chilly days. So
Just give me time to consider anyway.
when I eat it anyway,
I feel it's really not a great mood to play in. Like it feels like you're always rushing between internet connections dropping, right? Like you don't bother thinking your turn because you're just trying to get your turn done before you lose connection.
I want to take hockey. What? Did we start when we came back?
I don't know, I made you try it. I had a fever.
No, I know, but I have my parked behind my.
I just got drunk at a sugar.
Yeah, it was fun. You got day drunk.
Nice.
So what do you think I sideboarded out?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that. I suggested you sideboard out your detonates and your 2 detonates and 1 Sylvan Library and 1 Jaloom Tome, and you put in your Falling Star and your 3 flash counters.
Interesting.
I also have a coat.
That is not what I did though.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
You're there.
I wonder what beer they have. Taste it.
So
What up?
John, okay, we're back. Taylor's back. I'm back muted.
He came back.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, I'm back muted on Whereby, and I just wanted to bring you back here. I hope they can finish this game. I don't want them delaying the whole tournament because of this.
Well, maybe he can stay connected for long enough. I hope.
Okay, so first turn elf. I thought Peter chain lightning the elf. Did that not happen?
It did happen, yeah.
Okay.
But I think they've had. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. If because the connection got lost, they just backed it up and then he played differently, or like I don't know. Maybe he'll chain lightning it right now.
Okay, so Peter plays Sylvan Library, and also Taylor plays Sylvan Library, so they both got Sylvan Libraries. Taylor takes a damage because he had to tap the elf for that. The fact that he's playing that Sylvan Library and didn't drop a land on his second turn, that's really bad. That means he kept a 1-land hand, which is pretty surprising that he would do that, because he needs to crank out lands and earnums like immediately. I would never have kept a 1-land hand here in this scenario. Okay, so he plays a Transmogrant, and he's going to use it on the elves. Wow. Okay. And attack for 2.
Just being as aggressive as possible with what he's got to work with.
I mean, I'm shocked he kept a 1-land hand here. I guess he kept it because he had the Sylvan Library. But he missed he went first, and he missed his second turn land drop even after being able to Sylvan Library. Well, no, because he hasn't been able to Sylvan Library yet. He has, because he played it second turn. So he's actually missed 2 lands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
no.
Peter has 2 and is going to have 3. Yeah, so he's missed 2 land drops here. So Taylor kept a 1-land hand, and even after doing a Sylvan Library dig, did not find a second land. So that's probably going to cost him the game right there. I mean, even without all the other things stacked against him.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
All right, so Peter's going to be dropping his 3rd land because he never misses a land drop. John, you and I have talked about this. We've never seen Peter get mana screwed. I don't think ever.
For stumbles, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've just never seen it happen. I've never seen him miss a land drop. I don't know how he does it.
How many lands are in his deck? Probably a lot.
Yeah, we've all kind of realized that you need to run a lot of lands. Yeah, he's got 25 lands.
Yeah, I feel like this is not a format that you want to miss land drops in. There's just so many cards that need extra mana to make them work or power them out or whatever. There's not a lot of good, like, super low to the ground aggro decks that only need a few. I mean, I definitely tried to play some of those style decks. Like, I played a green-blue deck, aggro deck that could operate on, like 2 or 3 mana, but the problem is if you don't kill them very quickly, it's pretty easy for them to set up a defense of, like, 4 toughness guys or a Mazavith and a Falling Star or, whatever. Aggro just has a real hard time in this format.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now he needs to remember to trigger his Sylvan Library so he can look for lands. Is he Is he going to do that? It looks like he's drawing extra cards. Okay. So he's down to 12, so I think he drew two cards. So he paid four life. Or no, I think he drew all 3.
Why not?
Okay, and he still does not play a land and plays a scavenger folk. Wow. So now we're going to turn 4 and he's on 1 land. I mean, he should have mulliganed that 1 land hand to begin with, but this is really bad. This is like turn 4, 1 forest is your only land after you've been Sylvan Librarying and drawing extra cards. Like, that's just a total nail in the coffin on top of all the other nails.
Yeah, it's kind of a non-game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
It's
we've been seeing a lot of 2-0s in our in our top 8 matches, and this appears it'll continue that trend, unfortunately.
Well, it should be a pretty quick game for the second game too. Then Peter's got a rook egg out, and he's probably getting ready to Falling Star next turn. That'll take out the Scavenger Folk and the Elf, and that'll just be game. Now,
and the rook egg, and give him a token.
All right, so Taylor is remembering the Sylvan Library. That's good. He just takes 1 this time. Is it a land? So on turn 5, he finally gets land number 2. Yeah, if we count up Taylor's land count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think Taylor's only running 20 land. I think that's the problem. But almost everything in his deck costs 1. So much of his deck only costs 1. A big portion costs 2. But yeah, 20 land is not enough. Okay, so he attacks with the elf, but the rook egg can block. So Peter's not taking any damage. Now Falling Star can come down and take out Taylor's 2 guys, and giving Peter his rook egg token at the end of turn, and then he'll just beat him with that, and that will be game. Or a chain lightning would also do the same thing. He can chain his own target and then chain, the elf. Yeah, there's the Falling Star, as I expected.
Rough.
Well, as we were saying in the pregame deck reviews, we knew that this was almost an impossible. Taylor had almost an impossible chance, but we did see in game 1, if the cards had just came a little bit differently, Taylor could have had game 1. All right, so Peter's going to lay out some cards to represent Taylor's creatures and flip the Falling Star on them. And he's also going to put his own rook egg in the mix there, I would think. There he goes. Yep. So he can target all 3 of those, try and triangulate and hit in the middle. And then he'll get his rook token into turn. Since he's got 5 mana, this leaves his 2 mana up. Even if there was something he might need to mana drain, he can still do that. There is some agility here, and it's not a foregone conclusion that he can hit all 3, but Peter has practiced his flips quite a lot. We've talked about this. Peter won a flip competition up in Ontario somewhere at their local old school meetup. I think he said he beat the former champion on flipping chaos orbs.
Yeah, he like conceded a game just so that he could go to a flip off or something like that because he just really wanted to do it, and he had a good time, from what I hear.
Well, and flipping, oh, there he goes. That's pretty good flip. Flipping when you're drunk is also, if you can make these kind of moves when you've been drinking, it's even more impressive.
For sure.
All right, so I mean that's just game. There's no coming back from this, unfortunately for Taylor, and now Peter will be able to beat in with his rook token. Have you not sent Peter any rook tokens, John?
I have not sent a package to the Northern Territory for him yet. I should send him a bunch of stuff, some tokens and his mat that he won last month, and I don't know. I'll send him something.
He may forego the mat. I know he's got a lot of mats, and he only likes to play on this Borealis mat.
Yeah, it's funny how we all kind of like hone in on a particular mat, even if we own like other cool ones. Like I had a Time Twister mat that he was just like, oh my god, that's so cool. I'm so sad I missed out on it. And I'm like, well, I got tons of mats. I'll sell you mine at cost or whatever.
Yeah.
But like then Richard Kane Ferguson posted these mats. They're pretty new. And
yeah, I saw
he's
those.
Just played on this mat ever since. He's all about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so on turn, I think this is turn 7 or turn 8. Taylor gets his third land, a Pendlehaven or Caracas, can't quite tell. I guess it's a Caracas. But he's got no creatures. He plays a second Sylvan Library. That is not what he wants. And the Rook token is going to start doing its damage. Oh, it's a Diamond Valley. He got his Diamond Valley. See, I was thinking he should take those Diamond Valleys out in his sideboard to get the crumbles and the dust to dust in there. I really feel like that was a good move to try and give him some more edge, because the whole Preacher Diamond Valley thing, it's just never going to work against Peter's deck. Plus, Peter has Blood Moons. So I definitely think it would have been better for Taylor to sideboard those Diamond Valleys and Preachers out and put in his sideboard stuff.
Yeah, it's tough. He actually had a lot of different stuff that he could potentially side out. I think probably the Avoid Fates were the easiest cut, and then maybe some of his various ones like the Preachers. I mean, if he could manage to stick a Preacher, it might be all right, but there's just so many ways for Peter to kill it.
Yeah, with the 2 Immolations, the 4 Falling Stars, and the 4 Chain Lightnings, I just see no chance of a Preacher ever surviving in any scenario. So yeah, I mean, definitely those Avoid Fates should have come out, but I think that that's 3. I think the 2 Diamond Valleys and the 3 Preachers should have come out too. And then he could put everything in from his sideboard, which would have been the 2 Crumbles, the 2 Dust to Dust, a Revelation, and those 3 Dancing Scimitars. And the Dancing Scimitars can even block that Rook token. He knew Peter had Rook eggs, so I definitely think that sideboarding in the Dancing Scimitars would have been a good move. Plus, they can block Serendibs and Ghost Ships and everything else.
Yeah, it's a pretty good answer to all of Peter's threats.
So now Peter's going to be able to just bounce 1 card per turn. Looks like he bounced his land, which is absolutely cruel and unusual punishment for Taylor. It's really bad. It looks like Taylor's lost. Oh, no, he's back. So yeah, he's bouncing Taylor's land. At this point, Taylor could really just concede and give a virtual handshake. He's going to be getting a land bounced every turn and only able to play 1 land, so he'll never be able to play more than 2 forests or whatever for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's the lock.
So I would concede if I were Taylor.
Especially with the bad signal and everything. I think I'd just get out of there. But you know, he's this is his first tournament with us. He made it to top 8, which I think is fantastic. And he probably wants to just play it out just to see. Even if he's not going to win, he can get a read on the way Peter plays and see how the decks work and unfold and whatever. But the time elemental is just such a brutal lock when you're already ahead.
Let's tune in here and see what these guys are saying.
Oh, man. Peter, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'm gonna concede because I've seen my 3 cards, and
Yes.
you already got me on a clock. You already got me on a clock.
I'll tell you if it makes you feel any better about that decision. I have 2 chain lightnings in my hand. 2 of the 3 cards. I have 2 chain lightnings and a boomerang. I accept your resignation. I appreciate the games. It wasn't the easiest, I know, but thanks for hanging with me.
Yeah, I have no. I need a plane, and I'm not pulling it.
No, I figured you had a land tax in hand. I really did.
Yeah, no,
And I bet you had a lot of white spells in your hand that you just were not able to cast them. It sucks when your color screwed like that.
Well, guys, thanks for playing. Taylor, thanks for squeezing in the match while you're on the cruise. I know it was frustrating with the bandwidth for all you guys, but thanks for getting this in on time. And congrats, Peter. You'll be progressing to the semifinals.
I'll show you what I sideboarded out. I sideboarded out 1 Serendib and both Jalom Tombs. And I took in 1 Remove Soul, which was in my sideboard, 1 Falling Star, and the Ivory Tower. That's what I took. Oh, and not the Ivory Tower, the Maze of Ith. I took the Maze of Ith. So I took the Maze of Ith, saw the other one go by. Anyway, that was my decision. Chad thought I was going to put in, he speculated I'd put in all the flash counters, but I mean, if I just take out everything that you would be casting your instants on, I figured it was just more efficient. So anyway, that's what I took in and out of the deck.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap the video. Thanks for joining us, and good luck to you, Peter, in the rest of the tourney, and Taylor, have fun on your vacate.
Yeah, enjoy the Caribbean for all of us.
Okay, cheers, guys. Bye.
Later. Good night.
All right, so with that, let's get our... That was probably one of the roughest live videos we've done because of all of the challenging logistics. But from here, we are going to be moving to the semifinals here shortly. So let's just take a look at the brackets real quick. Okay, so Peter's going to proceed on, having beat Taylor, and if you've watched some of the other videos, you'll know who's proceeded from the former semifinal matches. I think we still need to do. Actually, I think that's everybody. I think we've gotten all the quarterfinals games in, so we can proceed to semifinals. And join us for Tournament 13. If you're interested, check out fourhorsemenmagic.com. We're going to be playing this tournament from March 29th through April 28th. and we hope to see you there. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and sticking with us. I know it was a tough one, but have a great night, and we'll see you next time.